Y'all, it's back. And all I want to say is, how dare you, Benedict? How dare you?
Only apply that. Get it, don't be timid when you ain't apply that. Love up on it. Give along, leave it. I don't want no trip, baby, spray like it.
My name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related, and I am here to put you on, okay? You guys, welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Ashley. This is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all the things TV and movie related, and y'all know I'm here to put you on. We are back to talk Bridgerton season 4 and all of its illustrious glory, because if Shondaland doesn't do one thing, she's going to aggravate, right? They're going to have you on the edge of your seat, clutching your pearls and screaming at the screen, because that's what I was doing for these first 4 episodes of episode 4. But we're going to get to it. We're going to go episode by episode, and we're going to break it all down because, child, honestly, coming off of the heels of season 3, I was not a huge fan. Honestly, Penelope is not my favorite character on the show. I still haven't forgiven her for some shady stuff she did very, very early on in the season. And so last year's romance, if we're gonna whatever, it didn't quite hit the same as the other seasons. So I really was coming into this season with some skepticism because Benedict has not been my favorite character. He's not my favorite brother. He's not my favorite Bridgerton. And I was really like, what is he going to be doing over here other than having orgies and reveling in his bacchanalian behavior? Where are we going with his character other than to the jungle? Because he likes it over there with his men and his women. Also, I really wasn't clear on his identity, where he wanted to be, where he wanted to go. And so, but much to my amazement, I enjoyed this. Now, is it on the nose? Very much a Cinderella story. Absolutely. From the glass slipper, which in this case was a glove, to the evil stepmother and stepsisters and all of those things. Overall, I still found it very entertaining to watch. I believe our newest character, Sophie, is fun. She's got a lot of wit, I feel. And I'm very interested to see where she goes. I adored her. And Benedict wasn't as dry as I believed him to be. He's being called to greater. And so overall, I really, really enjoyed it. It was a fun watch. Fun is the operative word here. But let's get into episode 1. Welcome back to the ton and Benedict's nonsense. So we're over here, and basically Mama Bridgerton goes and wakes him up, and he's got hoes on the couch, he's got hoes in the bed. He's being Benedict. He's in his orgy era, and Mama Bridgerton is basically like, son, it's time. He's like, I'm the second son, Mama. I don't have to go over here and do any of the things of obligation. I feel like this is how I want to live my life. I'll be over here. I can paint. I can have my hoes. I can go to my parties. I can do everything I want to do, and it shouldn't be an issue, right? So he's still in that mid orgy. She walks in cleaning up, and you just fix it, all right? Just fix it. The Ton kicks off the season with the first big party, and it's hosted by Lady Bridgerton. And Lady Danbury's taking a back seat at this point, because we find out later on she's trying to go back to her homeland. She is over all of this, and she's just ready to go home. And so we see that it's a masquerade ball, which is cute. And Queen every season has to pick her diamond. And so this year, she subverts all expectations and is like, listen, it's not going to be a typical diamond. I've seen all the girls before. I've seen all the things before. We're going to have a man. And so now that Penelope is indebted to her, she's on her hip. Who should we choose? And Penelope's giving the breakdown on all of the eligible bachelors of the season. And so we're looking around. This one stinks. This one's not cute. This one's rude. This one's all of those things. And here comes Benedict moseying in looking like the Mask of Zorro. And so he's there. He's filleting the room. The girls are after him because he is the most eligible bachelor. Not only does he have a cute coin, not only does he come from a good family, he's a Bridgerton. So he's got the name, he's got the fame, he's got the money, he's got all of that, even though he is a well-known rake. We know you be at the pleasure house, honey. We know you be at the houses of ill repute with the whores and the slurs and all of the things. But the girlies still love him. Now, does it give that? Is he the Duke? No. But do the girlies, they still after him, name or not. And so we're there. He's introduced to this new Cinderella, which is, of course, we get introduced to her very off the cuff. You have to be out of here by midnight and headed home. And so immediately we're like, what's going on? It gave Cinderella immediately. But this is Sophie. She's in her mask. She's in the silver gown, the silver shoes, all of the things, the gloves, and just minding her business, taking in the sights, because how awesome would it be to actually be able to attend a ball? And so immediately he is sidestepping everybody else and goes directly to her, beeline for her, and basically saves her from a dance that she doesn't want to have with an obscure gentleman, pulls her to the side, and immediately be outside alone without a chaperone. Because where are your chaperones? Oh, I came over there with that group. I'm just minding my business, taking it all in, eating the snacks, drinking the wine, all of that. They go outside and they're enraptured immediately. It's love at first look, because of course he can't see her face. She has a mask on. And so they're sharing and caring and talking about nothing really deep, but deep enough to just know that I'm interested in you. I want to get to know you more. Next thing we know, it's midnight and she's got to be spirited away because what's going on? During all of this, we meet the Penwoods, all right? We meet Mrs. Penwood, Lady Penwood, and her two daughters. One daughter she seems to very much dote on. The other, Posy, just seems to be, in the mix. So her older daughter is being introduced to society, and Bridgerton is the one that she wants. Like, he deserves me. I'm the best thing here. He deserves me. So immediately we meet her, and I'm like, oh Lord. This feels connected. This feels tied. We don't have many Asian characters over here. So they're somehow connected, damn it. We know that. So now at this point, our girl Sophie has been gone back home to get whatever. Benedict is like, oh my goodness, she left her glove because she got that arm like Ray Charles. He said, let me touch your arm. Let me feel your arm. And I believe they do actually even get to share a kiss. And again, it's immediate connection. He done studied her lips, honey. Later on, we'll see him painting these lips because he's got to find her. All right. And so anyway, that's going to be his quest for a while. And of course, he's labeled the season's diamond. The queen is like, it's him. All the girlies want him, yes. But no one missed the fact that he absconded with a young woman and was in the garden alone, unchaperoned. So we don't know how this could go. It could go one way or the other. Next, of course, we have Penelope. And baby, Penelope is a fresh newlywed. And they screwing and riding every chance they get in the carriage. They hunching every chance they get, baby. She is hunching, but now again, she's indebted to the queen. The queen has discovered that she is Lady Whistledown, and so now you work for me, sister. We're going to have the best gossip, the newest gossip. And so Penelope really at this point to me feels like I'm confined now. Before I had autonomy, I had freedom, and I had anonymity. Now I have none of those things. I'm under the queen's thumb, and basically whatever she wants, I have to do. I have to perform. And now I think it's going to feel like a job for her. So I'm really curious about how much longer Lady Whistledown, the personality, the writer, all of that is actually going to last. Finally, again, we have the new family, the Penwoods, which immediately struck me the wrong way. Because, who are you? Who are you? And why are you so nasty? All right. The only one of them is good. Like I said, is going to be the Posy girl. And we'll see what happens with that. Next, of course, we have Lady Danbury. And like I said before, she wants to go to her homeland. She wants to go back to her ancestral roots. She needs time away. It's too much in the city. And immediately the queen is like, nope, love it. Love that for you. Glad about it for you. But baby, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You're with me, sister. You're with me. Da, 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 da. And immediately you can see with the queen that there is something going on beneath the surface. And again, we'll get into that in the next episode, I believe. But immediately it's nope. And so she and Lady Danbury are on the outs. They didn't fell out. Listen, it is what it is. Now we go to episode 2. And this we're going to get Sophie's origin story and of course Queen and what needs to happen there. So we have a flashback to Sophie's real situation. And it was very sad. And again, I was saying Cinderella all first episode. We watched this together in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, why not? Come on over there. It's fun. We watch everything together. But basically, it was her father had her apparently out of wedlock. Her mother had passed away. And so now he is claiming her as his ward, not his daughter. And so he marries Lady Penwood, brings her on, introduces as the child as the ward, not a servant. And immediately there was enmity. right? At least on the behalf of Lady Penwood, because who is this little girl and why is she here? And of course, we hear Sophie get the admonishment: don't call him father in front of her. Don't call him father anymore. You're just his ward. He's taking care of you. And that's what it is. Immediately, there was just so much jealousy in Lady Penwood's face. It was like, oh, what? How can you hate a child? Like, how can you hate an innocent child that you've never met before off the cuff? It was just absolutely terrible. And so Sophie can't claim him as dad publicly. Again, it's about the illegitimacy and all of that. You were a mistake, basically, is what she says to the girl. You were his mistake. You weren't his child. And that's in a confrontation later, which is going to set some other things into motion. But a couple of other things with that. So ultimately, they reach a boiling point. They treat her like the redheaded stepchild. She does all the sewing, all the mending, all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the bringing up the trays, all the taking them down. Let me fix your tea. She is the Jane of all trades in this household. Sophie Beck does it all for this family, right? And so the stepmother's very nitpicky. I want you to clean all of my 150 pairs of shoes. I found a scuff on one of them. And very quickly, you can discern that stepmother has found out that Sophie is the girl, the mystery woman that was with Bridgerton, was with brother Benny all night long, right? And so she's mad, and we get into this whole big tussle. And ultimately, you said you were his mistake. You were not his child. You are not really the daughter of a nobleman. You need to get that out of your head. And she was like, whatever heart you have, if you have any left, you really just don't get it. We also find out that there was supposed to be an inheritance, but they're saying that he left her out completely. Do I buy that? No. I believe Lady Penwood is a scammer and a schemer and has spent all that girl's inheritance on shoes and handbags and clothing and trips to the French Riviera and all of the things. That's how I feel about it. I do not believe he didn't leave that girl anything. Because it's bad enough he left her with her, but then to also leave her penniless, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. So basically, you're fired. You have to get out of here. I really shouldn't have kept you on because it was at gravesite, literally. I'll feed you, I'll clothe you, you'll have a place to stay, but you'll have to work as the maid. That's the best possible outcome for you because you'll be invisible and you really don't ever need to be seen. Because why? Why? Who needs to see you? Right. And so finally, we get the culmination of the argument. You get thrown out, take your bag. And what I really enjoyed, and not about that, but about the household and getting to go to where the servants are. A lot of the seasons before this were really just with the more, I guess, highborn or the aristocracy, and now we get to go on the other side, very much upstairs, downstairs, very much Downton Abbey, how it's going to give you that balance. And I really enjoyed the family that they had created in the Penwood household because the footmen loved her, the cook loved her. I just really feel like they were the ones behind even taking Cinderella to the ball, but the way that they loved on her, the collection they made for her so she wouldn't be broke. Even Posey came down like, I know it's not worth much, but here, take these and see if that can get you where you need to go because now I need to get a plan. And basically, Lady Penwood said, you'll never work in Mayfair. You'll never work in this general vicinity, this area. I'm putting your name out there everywhere that you're basically unhireable. And so now we get back to Lady Danbury having another conversation with the Queen. And this time it's very much like, I'm just coming in to apologize. All right, I apologize. I overstepped. And the Queen, all right, good. So when are you planning your ball? And Lady Danbury's like, again, I'm not doing the ball. I'm not. I'm leaving. No, you're not. I will not allow it. I'll forbid it. You're my subject. I'm your subject now. That's all you're my subject. And immediately there's instant regret. And in this moment, this is probably the most vulnerable we've seen her this season so far. The Queen is breaking down. What will I do if he dies? You cannot leave me. You're the only person I have. And so immediately it was like, oh, she's afraid of this this feels like abandonment to her. This feels like you're my only friend in the world. And if you go, I don't have anybody else here. And I felt her in that moment, but not enough to keep my friend trapped. And so immediately you can tell Lady Danbury's devising a plan because what can I do? Are you open to a new maid in waiting or a new lady in waiting? Are you open to that? Yeah, well, I'm bored. You'll never find one that's going to entertain me or satisfy me or any of those things. But next, we have, of course, Benedict is searching everywhere for Sophie. He's going to everybody's house, every girl, looking at their mouth, their teeth, because apparently he studied her mouth. And my thing is, sir, you didn't study it that well, as we'll see later on. You did not see. You did not see that. And so immediately what's going on? He's losing hope. And as we know with Benedict, he starts a lot of things and never finishes it. So I was like, is this quest for the mystery woman going to be one of those quests that he starts and never finishes? And later, Mrs. Crabtree actually has the same conversation with him, and I thought that was very interesting. Let's see. So after he can't find her, he goes to this party in the countryside. And a little to his knowledge, Sophie's actually been hired on there at this country estate to work. And the people are accosting everybody. They're accosting the lady with the one arm. They're accosting her. And he finally gets into it and gets a little bit cut up and is like, you're fired now, so you might as well come with me. I'll make sure you get a job back in the city. And she's like, should I? I'll walk in the darkness of night and promise that you'll get my friend Hazel a job and all of these things. And he's like, fine, but you can't walk at night. It's dangerous. Get in my carriage. Again, not knowing that he's very much injured. And so we go to the manor, which is beautiful. It's beautiful. I was like, girl, if you don't claim this house, tell this man who you are so you can be living pretty and comfortably. Who wants to struggle? All you gotta say, and he's looking for you. All you literally have to say is, baby, it's me. It's me, baby. I'm the girl in the mask. Remember, you got my glove. And it's confirmed. And then tell the truth about your noble birth, the fact that you are a bastard, but that we can get this ball rolling. I know. It wouldn't be the show. It wouldn't be the drama. It wouldn't be all the things if we got that there. Da, da, da. I know. I just need people to have a modicum of sense and an ounce of integrity to tell the truth. That's all I be asking for. That's all I be asking for. That's literally all I'm asking for. All I wanted her to do was show your arm, baby. Show that man your arm. He'll know, just like Ray Charles. Y'all remember Ray Charles was feeling that lady's arm? He will know your arm because he don't recognize the lips. Clearly. And so finally she relents and she's like, I'll go with you to the cottage. So we get there to the cottage, I believe in episode 3, and it's a mess. The cottage isn't a mess, but he's a mess, right? Because, all right, I'll sleep in the guest room. All of a sudden, in the middle of the night, he's screaming and hollering because he's cut up and didn't tell nobody. So she gets by his bedside. She's fixing the wound and doing all of the things, and he automatically starts having visions. It's you. Kiss me again. Kiss me again. And she's like, boy, she sits in the chair. He's healed. We wake up in the morning and Mr. and Mrs. Crabtree are there, and they're the servants for the manor house, for the cottage that he normally resides at. And she's immediately going and judging. Who is this girl? Why is she here? This does not look right. And he says, she's a maid. She's looking for work. I'm going to take her back to the city, but you're to treat her as a guest. And this was probably the most little fun time. This is the time where they really connect. And he's like, listen, I love you. I got to have you. I need you. They're kissing by the leg. He's skinny dipping because Benedict can't keep no clothes on. And she is just trying to stay busy, trying to stay in her role. And Crabtree is going to remind her of that. You know, who you are. You're a maid, and really admonishes him to the fact that, listen, you are of stature, you have a name. She has to acquiesce to whatever you say, and she'll be left with the reputation forever and it won't go away. And so I think in her way, she's looking out. But my thing is, y'all family break the rules all the time, Bridgertons. You can be thinking out of the box, sir. You can definitely be thinking out of the box, but of course he's not. While all that's going on, the maid wars begin because with Penwood losing Sophie, now she needs 4 maids to replace her. That's how much Sophie was doing unpaid. So now she's got to find 4 maids using Sophie's inheritance. I'm very, very sure of it. And so there's this whole thing because she's gonna get your maid. She's making offers. She's doing everything she can. And one offer to Varley, who works for the Featheringtons, and the Featheringtons laughed in her face. You going where? We'll take it under advisement. Comes back with a box of used dresses from 2-3 seasons ago, gaudy, that they know Varley would never, ever, 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 ever wear, and basically says, I'm gonna go buy me a new outfit. But you good. We not giving a raise. We have to give you a raise. We have to give everybody in the house a raise. I said, Varley, if you don't walk out on these hoes, if you don't quit on the Featheringtons, and ultimately she did, and goes to work for Lady Penwood, which is, so now everybody's up in arms. All of society is mad at each other because basically the maids are going to the highest bidder. Whoever can pay the most, that's who's going to get it. And I want to know, if you had the opportunity to have live-in help, cooks, cleans, does all the things. Would you be down for it in today's world? I'm just very, very curious about that. Charlie. This episode, we actually get to see Francesca again and Mr. Kilmartin. Now, we know how this went. We know that Francesca liked a little cootie cat. At least I knew it. We knew that she liked a little kitty cat. And now that she's married to Kilmartin, apparently he's not hitting that spot. All right. She has yet to arrive at her pinnacle or achieve her pinnacles. Arrive at the pinnacles. It's now added into my vocabulary regularly. Did you achieve your pinnacle? She's not achieving her pinnacle. She don't even know what a pinnacle is. And it just goes to show really how in the dark the women were of the time. Not even their mothers educated them on their bodies or what they were experiencing. It was really just such the patriarchy. It is what it is, but it was still just very, what is that? And so Penelope got to break it down for her. Maybe in your nether regions, in your lady parts, they get excited and they start to tinkle and move, and it's an explosion of pleasure, and your biscuits are buttered. Meanwhile, Eloise is here, and they're trying to match Eloise. Eloise not going nowhere. Eloise don't want no man. She don't want to be tied up. She really don't know what her coot nanny does or what it's for. But Mr. Kilmartin seems to love her. They're trying for a baby, and he's saying, well, I hear that most women get pregnant, they have to be achieving pinnacle. We know that's not true. But she really feels like now it's incumbent upon her to achieve this pinnacle so that she can ultimately get pregnant. But again, where is the queerness? Because we know that she liked girls. When we see Mr. Kilmartin's cousin come later on, I was like, oh, see, that's the one she wants. That's where her pinnacles are. That's where she's gonna get her pinnacles. Penelope and her man hunching, little Bridgerton hunching in the thing. They can't stop. They got this little chunky, cute baby and living their best lives, but they're just so in love. And I get this is par for the course for most newlyweds. They are just really enjoying each other. Now, Violet and Lady Danbury's brother, Lady Bridgerton. This is like, if y'all don't get to the point, it's very much like, can I sit next to you? And mind you, she's been married. She's had 8 children. And I get it. There's got to be trepidation, and it was society at the time. But part of me was like, girl, if you don't let them petticoats down and get to business. But of course, that doesn't happen in episode 3, but we do see it happen a little bit later. Of course, still at the manor, Sophie and he are just getting closer and closer and closer until ultimately they do kiss again. And my thing is, in the moment with the kiss, you ain't feel it then. You ain't know it then. I don't trust his work at this point. I don't trust your artwork, because those are the lips. You was looking at everybody else's lips and teeth, and you can't see it. It's right in front of your face. I guess he can't conceptualize the fact that a maid would have made it into there. But again, if she would just open her mouth and just open up to him, it is what it is. But now she's like, it's time to go back. He's like, I'm well. The crab treat and put it in his head. Listen, you could ruin her reputation. He's like, fine, you're right. Let me get her on to the big house and we'll be fine. So as we go into episode 4, we find out that Sophie's going to be working at Bridgerton. She's not happy about it. She's ready to run off. He's like, listen, this is the safest place. Do you want to go back to Cavender again and be in another house like that where they can do anything to you? You'll be safe here. You'll be attending to Eloise and Hyacinth, as the mother says, and it'll be fine. We go in, and Miss Bridgerton, though, want to have a fit for a second. And I was like, Lady Bridgerton, you better not. As wild and as reckless as all of your children have been at some point or another, there's no way you're going to judge this young lady. And so he tells her, listen, this happened over here. She was like, yeah, I hate them. She can come on. And ultimately is offered permanent employment there. But it's very awkward because Benedict, brother Benny, can't seem to keep his hands to himself or his eyes to himself. He's obsessed with her. She wants to shield her. She says, there's something about Sophie, Lady Bridgerton, that makes me want to protect her, that makes me want to keep her, that makes me want to make sure that she's okay. But I fear she's not telling the whole truth. And so we get Mrs. Mondrick in on this to basically do some research and find out who she was. Now, I thought Mr. Mondrick was going to get to the T. I was like, oh, she's going to go through family records. We're going to get to it. We're going to figure out. She brings these Hollis hoes over, and he knew that wasn't her. He knew these smile lines right there weren't her. Come on. Our girl Sophie's got glass skin. No, baby. You knew it wasn't, and he knew it wasn't immediately. And so Sophie finally comes to a point. Listen, you're doing too much. You done cussed in front of that lady when I spilled the tea because you put your hand over it. And I think you just need to go back onto your house. This is the best job. This is the best prospect I've ever had in my life. I've always wanted to be a part of a family like this. And if I can just serve them, that's good for me. But you need to get out of town. And he's like, fine. He packs up his raggedy duffel bag and he's like, I'll go back to where I was. And I'm like, good. Because Benedict, he still swears he's not giving up though. Anyway, again, I thought Mondrick was going to get to the bottom of it, but she produces something else. But Lady Danbury sets Mondrick up. I'm not gonna tell her. She's gonna be mad at me, but I think it's good for her. And I gotta put me first, Lucius. She and Lady Bridgerton are having this conversation, Lady Danbury and Lady Bridgerton. We gotta put ourselves first. It matters because Lady Bridgerton is in heat at this point. So Lady Danbury presents Mrs. Mondrick to the Queen, and the Queen's like, "You'll do." And so basically, without her knowledge, she is going to be one of the ladies in waiting for the Queen. A husband agrees, but she's like, "I don't want to serve at the Queen's behest. I'm not of this life." And Lady Danbury said, it's good you're not of this life. You'll bring something different. So an uneasy piece there. And will this get Lady Danbury off? I don't think so. I still don't think Lady Danbury just gets to leave at the end of the season, but we'll see what all of this does. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Francesca and Kilmartin, they try to get at it again. He thinks he's hitting that spot. He done got his finger just like Benedict. They like the two scoops. And he went down to town and she's screaming out his name for fake. And he was like, did you really reach your pinnacle? She said, no. He said, well, baby, you ain't got to pretend. I love you just the way you are. And she's like, oh, they're friends, if nothing else. But later in the episode, the cousin arrives, baby. And I'm just like, are they going to go to the jungle? She finna cheat on this man and she going to put him away. What's going to happen? I'm very curious. Drop it. And don't put no spoilers. If you've read the book, don't put the spoilers in the chat. But let me know what's going to come of Mr. Kilmartin's cousin and Francesca. Is Francesca going to go over there and get some cootie cat bum pocketbooks with old girl? I don't know. I don't know. Let me know. And so, of course, Sophie's doing her biggest one. She thinks Benedict's gone. She and the new staff are hitting it off. He done brought her girl Hazel over. So she's got a job secured now. And they are just having the best time ever. And they're going to go out to the pub and enjoy. But she forgot her coin purse. So Sophie's got to go in. Well, at the same time, Benedict done came back home because he want her, got to have her, need her, find her on the steps. Hoisted her up. I was like, oh my gosh, is he gonna eat the box on the that didn't happen, but he two scooped again, got them two fingers and went to work and she's screaming and hollering and doing all this. And after all of that, he says, will you be my mistress? Ho, is that all I am to you? Is that all I ever could be to you? Is your hoe? Your side hoe? Benedict. Benedict, he said, well, I gotta have you. You have her your way, I have her mine, but I gotta have you, baby. I gotta have you one way or the other. You want to be my cat mistress? She said, put me down, unhand me. And she storms off. But is she entertaining it? I don't know, but I was offended, Benedict, because how damn dare you, sir? How damn dare you? But is it going to make a difference? I just think she needs to have a talk with this man and tell the truth. And I think we could resolve all of these issues. But y'all, I'm about to get off of here. This is almost a 30-minute video. Now, y'all, how could I forget this? This is a special alert because I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Lady Bridgerton and Lady Danbury brother and how he put her through the mattress and she had on her a lavender lingerie that I would wear. I thought it was cute. I thought her little, little two-piece set was very, very cute. But I mean, it did give a little bit mandingo, but he had body. I was like, all right, Zaddy, like, all right, like, let's get to it. Now they didn't show us any of that, but they showed us the afterglow, which was cute. It was respectful. It was all of those things, but she did finally go down through there. She let him take her through there. Now, is this gonna be an every night thing? Because we did have to special this private tea. Oh, also, Lady Penwood done moved next door to the Bridgertons. Just FYI, I had to throw that in there. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. But that was Bridgerton season 4, the first 4 episodes. I believe the second half will be out in February, and I'll be back to talk about it. But drop it in the comments. Did it satisfy you? Was it too on the nose with the Cinderella trope? I would love to know your thoughts. Comment, subscribe, hype. If you got some hype points, hype your girl up. Hype me up, all right? Thank you so much, though, for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.